Hi, my name is Lauren Simpson, and I'm a choreographer. I just moved to Omaha last fall from San Francisco, and I'm really excited to be here making art in the city. I am the Drew Billings Artist Support Grantee, and I'm really honored to have that funding. Calling Omaha home for me is really, it's not only shaped my work, but it's also just like affirming for me as an artist. I would say that in San Francisco, it is nearly impossible for an artist to make a living wage, and it's cost prohibitive in that community, or at least it is for mid-career and younger artists these days. So I think that a grant like this and moving to Omaha has just allowed me to exist as an artist and continue my profession. I wouldn't be able to do that had I stayed there. I think had I stayed in San Francisco, I would have had to pick a different profession. And then the other piece is the shaping piece, which is I'm excited. I'm moving here as a mid-career artist. I have a lot of collaborators in other places. And so I'm going to experiment with working across geographies in my collaborations. And then the other side of that is I'm really excited to meet collaborators locally and work with new people. And new people always feed the work and shape the work in new ways. So I think now that I'm an Omaha-based artist, those are the two things I will always be kind of balancing, is working with people who I worked with for a long time. In dance, we work with, it's sort of an ongoing training, you know, the body learns over time and takes on information. And so there are people who've been working with me and in sort of my practice for about 5 years, and they live in places like LA and in New York, Portland. So I'm excited to bring them to Omaha and then also introduce them to Omaha-based artists so we can all work together and make something new. Direct financial support, I mean, it is everything for an artist, and especially as a choreographer who works in a very collaborative form. This grant in particular, it's allowing me to hire a dancer and pay them for their time, pay them fairly and hourly. I can hire a musician to score the work and collaborate. I can pay for or hire a costume designer. I can collaborate maybe with a visual artist and bring some of their work in. And then it allows me to take time out of my day job so that I can, dedicate hours to it. I think what's so important about direct financial support, and then also knowing this about what happens when an artist is given money, is that it just doesn't sit in their bank account. Like, if you noticed, I mentioned musician and designer and visual artist and dancer, you know, the money goes in the door and right out the door again. And so 5 other artists are also impacted. So it has this like systemic effect. So even though I'm a director and I'm making choices about where the money goes because I have to make a budget for it, it gets fed right into the community immediately. And I just think, and that's everything. And then the other piece too is just being able to pay an artist for their time. I feel like, you know, every hour that an artist is spent in their day job is an hour not spent practicing their art or making it better or improving what their work is, improving the field. Like, it's just kind of a one-to-one math, and that support is, it's crucial. An autonomous creative class is good for a healthy economy, and it keeps people excited about living in a city. I saw firsthand in San Francisco that, you know, there's an influx. This is happening here too. There's an influx into the city and people wanting to move back from the outskirts into the city because of the arts and culture. That is the draw, and that's why people are going there. And it causes a whole new like economic exchange happening in a dense space, and that is exciting. And people want to live there and be there. And when there's theater and dance and visual art and music and classes and education tied to that, then you have a cohesion in your community. And I think arts can be the linchpin for that.